The Copper Canyon Dixie Dash has the distinction of being a game that had us conflicted. First impressions were not so high, but as soon as the cowboy hats and mechanical limbs were blown off bit by bit, the charm began to sink in. Given its rocky start, did it have enough in the end to warrant a must-buy? Let's find out. Brought to the Nintendo Switch by Black Dragon Studios, Copper Canyon retails for $7.50 on the North American eShop. Players will assume the role of Dixie, as she must assist her father in helping curtail the robot uprising at his Wild West-themed amusement park. Now, while this is starting to sound a little familiar, players need to go ahead and remove any images they may have formed of this being a playable version of Westworld, and that includes the Yul Brynner Classic. Instead, players are treated to wave-based and at times claustrophobic cartoon shooter that has heart, but unfortunately that's about it. Visually, Copper Canyon, as mentioned, went with the cartoonish look. Everything is exaggerated, from the robust, clunky mechanical death machines to the levels themselves. This extends to the color palette as well. It's a shame that the amusement park aspect was not fully realized. Nothing about any of the stages feels like you're in a park of any sorts. Unfortunately, the game only has 3 stages, so variety is not the order of the day. This extends to the count them on one hand enemy variety. Players will see the same set of robots teleport into the shooting gallery from level 1 wave 1 to the final stages, albeit with some boss fights. Here, players are situated in a circular corral type setup where they do battle with the same oversized Sheriff Menace, who comes equipped with one new move each time you have a shootout. Shootout is the name of the game. Copper Canyon does not skimp on the second-to-second action. Unfortunately, the controls work against you a little too much. The control layout is a little awkward at first. Dixie by default is dual-wielding pistols that she can iron sight with the left trigger. Unfortunately though, this doesn't work if your right pistol is empty. Instead, gunfire is all mapped to the right trigger, having you alternate between your left and your right pistol. The manual reload is a nice touch, as it does force you to pay attention to your ammo, as you will run dry if you're not careful. The biggest conundrum has to be the movement. Initially, everything felt slow and sluggish. Those used to the frenetic pacing of other arcade shooters will immediately dismiss this. However, if you are willing to work within it, the pacing does feel right. When coupled with their version of bullet time called Dash, players will find themselves in some intense shootouts. Audio-wise, we're kind of working with a mixed bag. Each of the 3 stages has its own background music, which, while appropriate for the theme, fails to fit the action actually taking place. The sound effects are decent, but ultimately become overly repetitive. This applies to the robot sounds. Again, this feels like another missed opportunity. Image and Form has set an incredibly high bar for other indie studios to reach with their SteamWorld franchise. The personality and charm found with their characters is sorely lacking here. What if? It's a question that can expand the mind and birth new ideas and possibilities. When applied to a game, however, it can also be a giant red flag. In the case of the Copper Canyon, What If serves as a tale of a game that lays a solid foundation, but is just missing that extra care that could have made this a must-own title. While everything here functions and plays as intended, the sheer lack of depth and unrealized potential really drag this one down. No leaderboards to promote competition or repeated playthroughs is the final nail in its coffin. Thanks for popping by and checking out the review. If you like what you saw and heard here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, spread the good word. Be sure to also follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up with all the latest reviews, previews, let's plays, and, just things in general I got going on over here on TF Banana. Till next time, peace!